Okay, here I go again, being redundant. But this is the final iteration of this theory. You can't get any more precise. And this is so I can't convince people to see. There's no way for me to put this any more succinctly. So either a person sees this intuitively or they don't. So this is a message from God. Each of these rows is a holographic expression of the same information, right? It's the same process going on with each row. The columns are the same thing for every row. So the way it is, so each of these is a system of thought, right? So one might call this psychology, mind, body, spirit. That might be in the realm of psychology. Same with, well, female, male, and self, that's biology. Positive, negative, and neutral, electromagnetism. Well, there's supposed to be a negative there, but you can't see the yellow anyway. But I made it blue and yellow because it has to be blue and yellow because, again, that signifies, expresses the state of superposition. So this is what the wave function observer particle, which is physics, right? The entire system of physics culminates at the pinnacle of quantum theory. So when you follow physics to its conclusion, particle physics to its conclusion, this is what is revealed. It's the same message over and over and over. Christianity is a system of thought, isn't it? Well, it's the same triune system. Even Christians don't understand the Trinity. So once all of these are put together in conjunction with each other, that's when the message is revealed. So I recognize that these systems of thought were all unified as this Trinity. And then I adapted the thing nothing dualistic model that's either or, that doesn't recognize the middle column. I adapted that to have thing, non-thing, and potential. I didn't write those down. Surprisingly enough, it's the whole, I should have wrote it down, but anyway, it's thing, non-thing, and potential. So there's no longer nothing. This middle row is the reality. The middle column, sorry, is the reality, and the two outer columns is the illusion of the duality that arises when you shift attention away from this, and then if you forget where the source is, then you need a Ponzi scheme to bootstrap itself into existence. But without recognition of the third aspect, which is the state of the singularity, which is the state of superposition itself, then you can't. It's literally the Kobayashi Maru, where the model cannot. It literally cannot encompass the nuance that's required to develop the model of everything, the final concluding fundamental model of reality. This is the fundamental model of reality. All of reality and the illusion is represented by three characters. You need three characters to represent it. Okay, so this metaphor is perfect to represent singularity and the state of superposition. So I will read this. The prefix con means with or together. The wording concave and convex is an attempt to connect the cave and the vex, the interior and the exterior, without reference to proof. Con is the imagined/invented concept of a force that holds the interior and the exterior together in unification. And this works for all the dualities. Same system is going on when you try to fix the mind-body problem without this model. If you just try what everyone else has done, so I wrote it down. All of the reality theorists were trying to come up with a coined prefix like con in order to find con. It just came up. Okay, different con. This is the fruit of the mind-body problem and the desire to unify quantum mechanics and gravity. All attempts at unifying all apparent dualities will fail. Unification is realized through recognition of the singularity prior to bias measurement, prior to the arising of the illusion of separation. It is not possible to dispel an illusion after accepting the illusion to be real. The only way to find reconciliation and completion is through recognition of the duality as the illusion. So I'll read this too. Physicists have convinced humanity that only the right column exists. This is the Kobayashi-Maru no-win condition at the thing-nothing language model. That is, if it isn't a thing that can be measured by scientific contraptions, then it simply cannot exist, right? It goes directly into the nothing. If it's not a thing, this can be defined by physics, then it simply cannot exist according to the thing-nothing model. And that's why the questions, why is there something rather than nothing, and how can something come from nothing, have been unresolved for eternity here. Okay? So this resolves it. There is no such thing as nothing. And the way that I adapted, reprogrammed the Kobayashi-Maru thing-nothing programming to have it either, and it's, how can a system that's in constant conflict with itself, one of the things requires the other, one of the aspects of the system requires the absence, the annihilation of the other thing within the other aspect within the system for it to exist. Well, it's constant conflict. So that system is unstable and just going to rip itself apart, like all of civilization is doing, because all of Western civilization, especially, is based upon competition because of the thing-nothing model. People don't realize, they can't get it through their heads how important this is. The fixing of the thing-nothing model to include non-things and removing the idea of nothing into the idea of potential, that resolves the question, because something can come from potential, right? And those things that come from potential things, those aspects, the duality, are non-things, which is mind, right? thoughts are not things. You can't touch a thought. You can't smell a thought. You can't see a thought. You can't, well, you can kind of, in a weird way, hear a thought. But it's a non-thing. Thoughts and emotions are not things, and yet they exist. Okay? So basically, so what science is trying to do is like trying to draw a convex curve without drawing a concave curve, right? That's what the thing nothing model is. Draw a thing without giving rise to the frame of reference upon which that thing or yeah, um, you you have to recognize curve. So the way to do this, the way to realize this, that self is the middle column. Well, this is just thought, action, potential. So all of this is just thought, right? Mind. Mind is just a subset of the illusion. Mind is one half of of the illusion of duality. So you have to transcend mind. How do we fix this? It's through meditation. Meditation is strictly noticing that which is noticing. It's meditation is being aware of the awareness and being aware of learning how to shift your attention onto what you want onto the reality, rather than just automatically looking at whatever's the loudest or the brightest or the shiniest or the most interesting. So, interest in the outside world, thoughts and sensations, is what projects the illusion. So, basically, you can't get to this through more thinking, right? If you delve into thinking, then that will be trying to disprove this, right? So people will try to use thought to convince themselves that they can't see this or that it doesn't make sense. So thought is only going to get in the way of this. So the only way to see this and to verify this as being true, that this is the reality, that it's actually, so we have it inverted, right? We have the whole thing inverted. We think that the waking state is the reality, but it's the dream, it's the illusion. The reality is sleep. Sleep holds the potential for the waking state. See, the sleep is invariable, right? Sleep is the same experience for everyone. That's because the illusion has gone away and everyone is existing as that same awareness, the singularity is experienced in as the sleep state, the death state, and the extinction state. These are all just smaller cycles and bigger cycles. It's the same thing going on. It's just different time frames or different perspectives. So if you want to understand this, if you want to see this clearly, because boy, once you see this clearly, everything makes sense. The reason why everything's going on with humanity is simply because, and it's a simple explanation, but it's the most accurate, is that simply it's been yang biased for so long now on the physical part, on the realm of the senses, but it's an illusion, right? So it eventually will pass. Even this, the realm of the senses will eventually be revealed as an illusion. So you have to learn You have to learn to meditate, which is the learning how to shift your attention inwardly onto that still potential, the stillness, the silence between thoughts. It's that incessant, unending blah 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 in your consciousness with that voice that you can't fucking stop, right? If you don't have if you can't silence that voice, then it's not you, is it? Well, what could that voice be then? Well, it's fucking Satan. It's Maya. The voice in the head is trying to divert attention away from the realm of the senses, because the realm of the senses is being is that potential has completely played out. The collective human consciousness has experienced all the potential novel experiences within the physical realm, within the realm of the senses. And now it's either you go to enlightenment, or you go to the next manufactured iteration, which is what thought is leading us to. The digital realm is just the negative, right? It's just more illusion. All experience is the illusion. And that's why all of humanity is going mad, and the suffering is increasing, and we're killing all life on the planet. That's why basically we're going to hell. Everything's going to hell because academia has removed this. Right? They're brainwashed us. Physicists have brainwashed us to accept that this doesn't even exist. Like the thing nothing model doesn't even acknowledge that subjective experience exists, for fuck's sakes. So materialists, they're helpless. We can't even. There's no point. There's no point in even trying to convince a materialist that that even the subjective experience of their thoughts and emotions actually exist, even as an illusion, right? So they're two steps away from recognizing that the nothing that we take to be nothing is actually the reality. So I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm showing you the way to understand everything and the way out of suffering. It's not through thinking anymore. Once you see this, you just get to the work. You get to the practice of finding that stillness between that space between thoughts and just abiding there. That's it. So the more energy you put into finding that stillness of that's peace and contentment and perfect happiness, absolute happiness, absolute meaning it's not relative to any circumstances. Happiness is your natural state. But because you listen to the blah, 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 that's the unnatural state, and that's what makes us so fucking unhappy. We miss our natural happiness because we're not focused on the reality. So that's it. Either you start meditating and give up on trying to figure things out through some convoluted theory, or you just recognize that theories and symbols and language will never encapsulate. It's just more Maya, and that need to be transcended. So here it is again. Either you do it and you understand, or you don't do it and you just call it a bunch of bullshit. The choice is up to you. I'm doing fine. I'm rocking this. I have very little suffering. Like, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that you don't need this suffering. It's not part of our naturalness.